Hello, and welcome once again to another perfect, phenomenal, prodigious, precise, prolific, positive, purposeful, power-packed Phillips podcast. Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh!
We continue our epic, huge, Caroline, huge series to get you ready for the FCAT in April so you can be number one and not be like the picture here, epic fail. Nice. If you guys would, please turn in your packet to problem number 4. Remember, on the FCAT, the first thing you're going to do is stop and read the problem. The formula for the area of a triangle is shown below. A equals 1/2 BH. Which of the following is the solution for H in terms of A and B? Also remember, on the FCAT, yellow light, slow down, underline, circle, box, important information. If you would, please circle the formula A equals 1/2 BH. Please underline the question, which of the following is the solution for H in terms of A and B? Last, if you would, please circle or put a box around solution for H. On the FCAT, when they say the solution for and give you a variable, in this case the variable H, they're telling you that H is the tornado. Or, another way you could figure it out on the FCAT, look at your choices here. In A, B, C, D, they all start with the variable H. So that's screaming to you that H is the tornado. So we have our equation A equals 1/2 BH. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to undo or get rid of this fraction 1/2. Why? Because we're going to have to move the fraction 1/2, and we're going to have to move this variable B away from the tornado. Remember, the tornado can bounce back and forth on this side, but it cannot go across this imaginary line. A is protected. So let's undo or get rid of that fraction first. To undo or get rid of this fraction 1/2, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 1/2. The reciprocal means we're going to flip this fraction. So to get rid of this fraction again, multiply by the reciprocal, which would be 2/1. So I'm going to write times 2/1, which is the reciprocal of 1/2. Now remember, multiplying by 2/1 is really the same thing as multiplying by the whole number 2. So whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. On this side of my equation, I'm going to multiply by 2 also. The denominator 2 and the whole number 2 will cancel each other out. So on this side of my equation, I'm left with 1, the variable B, and my tornado H. Over here, remember, there is an invisible coefficient of 1 in front of that variable A. So I'm going to do 2 times 1, which is 2, and then I'm just going to bring that variable A down. So I have 2A equals 1BH. Before I go any farther, I'm going to use a little bit of PO, process of elimination. I know that I'm going to need a 2 touching the variable A. Or you could have said, Mr. Phillips, my coefficient, nice vocabulary, da bears, is 2. So let's go back up and look at our choices and see where we have a coefficient of 2 touching the variable A. Right here, I have a coefficient of 2 touching the variable A. so I'm good so far. Next, I do not have a coefficient of 2 touching that variable a, so we're going to use PO and automatically get rid of C. Please cross out the letter C on your paper. Notice here, I have a denominator of 2, but there's no coefficient of 2 touching the variable a. So on your paper, process elimination, get rid of B. And choice A, right there, I have a coefficient of 2 touching a, so that is a possible answer. Now I'm going to come back down to my equation. I really don't need that 1 there because it is an invisible coefficient. Nice. So the next thing I'm going to say to myself is these are touching each other. When they're touching each other, that means multiplication. So I'm going to rewrite this as the variable b dot for multiplication, h, which is my tornado, and I'm just going to break down the coefficient of 2 and the variable a over here. I'm not done with the problem yet because I have to get b away from the tornado. So what am I going to do? Nice vocabulary. Da bears. I'm going to do the inverse operation. The inverse operation of multiplication is division. So how do I write division now that I am smarter than the average 8th grader in Lee County? Fraction bar, fraction bar. Now before I go any farther, I should be able to use a little bit of PO because somewhere in my answer I'm going to have a fraction bar for division. So let's go back up and look at our choices that are left. There is no fraction bar for division here. Therefore, process elimination says cross out choice D on your paper. And if you look at the last man standing, there's my fraction bar. A has to be the correct answer. Now I'll finish my equation. Please make sure you finish it on your paper. I want to move the variable b so it doesn't get hit by the tornado. I'm going to divide because that's the inverse of multiplication. Whatever I do on one side, I do to the other. Or you could go old school and say, what happens in yellow stays in yellow. What happens in yellow stays in yellow. These will cancel or cross each other out. So I'm left with the coefficient of 2 touching the variable a over the variable b equals my tornado h. I have isolated, nice vocabulary, da bears. I've isolated my tornado and gotten it all by itself. I have solved the equation for h. Remember, on the FCAT, look at your choices here. All of them have h by itself. That's screaming to you that this variable is the tornado. A is our correct answer. And I think that the count is on vacation. So we have a fill-in from guess who? Cookie Monster. Nice. Cookie Monster is helping us out with our number of the day because he wants his 4 cookies for helping us out. So if you would turn to the front of your packet, find number 4. The correct choice was A, and Cookie Monster will be oh so happy with you. All right, if you guys would, please put your packet back on the counter and return your iPod so I can recharge you for the next group coming in. Congratulations. We've just completed another problem. See ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya. Peace out. Keep it real.